All right. Well, good morning and welcome everyone to our deep dive webinar today. We are so glad that you have chose to spend part of your morning with us. For those of you who have not met, my name is Angela Nelson, Vice President of Equity and Partnerships at Travel Portland. I am joined today by Ellen Malloway, our Senior Partnership Engagement Coordinator, who is also supporting us behind the scenes with technical assistance. I have the privilege of leading our partnership efforts at Travel Portland. And what I love most about this work is the opportunity to learn about your business, understand your needs, and connect you to the resources that help to serve our visitors. And so when I think about the value of what we provide to our partners, I like to frame it through the 5 A's of DMO partnership value. First, there's access to the information, tools, and the people, our staff here at Travel Portland. Being able to amplify your businesses and your stories, uh, to be in alignment with your goals and the destination priorities, and to help to collaborate to bring those goals to life. Being able to advocate on behalf of a strong and inclusive visitor economy, as well as uh, the advantage of helping you to compete and thrive in the industry. So, those are the ways that we believe we deliver on partnership value. And today's webinar certainly helps us to deliver on access to information, as well as, again, that amplification of your business to those visitors who are looking to find you in their Google search and search of things to do and things to see when they are visiting Portland. Our deep dive webinar series is designed to equip you, our partners, with knowledge, connections, and tools needed to succeed in Portland's visitor economy. So these sessions are offered at no cost and provide deep insight into key aspects of our industry while connecting you directly to Travel Portland's programs, teams, resources, and our partners, like those who will be presenting to you today. By increasing access to industry knowledge, best practices, and local expertise, our goal is simple: to help your business grow stronger, more confident, and more competitive. Because when our partners are informed and connected and equipped, you just don't participate in the industry, but you thrive in it. And this is one of 5 deep dive sessions in our current series, including 2 that we had earlier this year, one with our international tourism team, and just last week with our visitor services team that presented on the Rose City Certified Destination training that we just launched. So before we get started today, I just wanted to go through a couple of housekeeping items with you. Just as a reminder, this webinar is being recorded and will be shared in our post thank you event communication. We have reserved time at the end for questions, but in the meantime, we ask that you drop your questions in the designated Q&A box, and that's right down in your toolbar. So drop those questions down there. We will answer what we can during the session while Kat is presenting. Otherwise, we will answer those ones that we are unable to provide responses to and leave them for Kat at the end. Also, to toggle on your closed captions, there should be a closed caption box in the toolbar as well. We have it turned on our end, but you should be able to toggle it on to view it on your side. And then again, we ask that you stay until the end for some important announcements and updates. All right, well, without further delay, I am excited to introduce our guest speaker for today, Kat Sherry. She's the Director of Customer Success at Locl, and she will guide us through the local training content. Many of you are already familiar with Kat and her great energy and customer service, and her ability to guide you and navigate you through your account and the tools that help you maximize your business profile and SEO performance. Again, we will reserve time at the end for questions, but please feel free to drop those into the Q&A chat box at any time, and we will respond to them during the session. Kat, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you so much for the introduction and the housekeeping. I'm so excited to see some of our repeat registrants here and participating. If you haven't been to one of these before, you're in for a treat. I like to make them as entertaining and engaging as possible while we learn some stuff. That's the best way that we learn. So let's jump into it. I am Kat. I'm the Director of Customer Success here at Locl. I will keep my intro short. Angela already did a great job. My goal every single day is to make sure businesses that are on our platform get the best use out of our solutions, which is why I am here today to talk to you more about how Locl is going to do that for you. So, Locl is a platform used to manage your Google business profile. And we need to cover Google Business Profile fundamentals before we can get into Locl. So following our agenda here, we're going to go into some Google Business Profile fundamentals. If you are already ahead of the curve, great. For folks that are not, this is for you. We want to make sure that you're set up for success so that you can onboard onto our platform successfully. We'll go into a quick overview of some of the features that are specific to Locl and what we do to help manage your Google Business Profile and what sets us apart from managing your Google Business Profile manually within Google. And then I'm going to jump into a platform demo. This is where we get the most of our questions, and this is where I like to keep things engaging for that reason. So if you have questions as I'm going through the demo, again, feel free to throw it in the chat or wait till the end. And then at the end, Q&A, we'll have some resources that we'll toss up, and then I'm going to hand it over to Angela to close us out. So a little bit about Locl and our partnership with Travel Portland. We have a great quote here from Travis Priest from Gorgeous Beer Co. Last year, we actually did a hybrid webinar session, and this quote was taken from Travis, who was able to attend and sit in and used autopilot for the first time, which is sneak peek, what we're going to be talking about today. We officially launched our program with Travel Portland in December 2018, so we've been around for a minute. We have 986. That number has gone up. I saw some new registrants come in as we were starting this webinar, so it's a little bit higher. But as of yesterday, 986 participating businesses to date, which is incredible growth to see. If you are new, this only speaks to how much this impacts businesses in the area and the engagement that we've seen and the momentum that we'd like to keep going, which is why we're all here today. So if you are new to Locl or maybe just need a quick refresh, our scoring is what sets us apart. I'm going to jump into a little bit more on what that scoring is comprised of, but a quick little peek behind the curtain here. This is one of my friends here in Portland. Tim, he owns the St. John's Inn and event venue, and this was his baseline score when he started with Locl, with his Google Business Profile. This was his baseline visibility score. And this was taken February 1st, 2024. And in January 12th-ish of this year, I pulled his current scoring, and as you can see, significant improvements. And that's just using our platform. So I'm going to dive a little bit into this. This is the success that we want all of our users to see. And I'm going to teach you how to make this happen so that your business is visible on maps. You get more customers, we make more money, which everyone is excited about, right? Great way to start 2026. So why Google matters, right? We can't have a Google Business Profile and be on Locl. We have to have a claimed and verified Google Business Profile before starting on Locl. It is so critical, even if you don't use Locl, and we do hope that you do, but it is so critical for you to have a presence on Google Maps. It is every business's digital front door. It is your digital first impression. 77% of the time, Maps is used to search for a nearby business. I think about how I just use Maps in my day-to-day life. If I'm looking for something, I'm pulling up Google Maps to see what's close, wait times, menus, all that kind of stuff. And a Google business profile is essential for small businesses because it directly impacts online visibility, local search rankings, and customer trust. Really important to be found locally. Most consumers use Google to search for local businesses. I would assume you guys do the same thing too. And it's really important that you're pulling in local search results when people are searching for products or services that your business offers. First impressions matter. We know this. And what's really, really important is when someone is searching for your business on Google, it is displaying hours, photos, reviews, and this is often what a customer is looking at before they even visit your website. So it's important to make a great first impression. Lastly, and probably my favorite part, it is both free and powerful to be on Google Maps. It is a no-cost tool that delivers measurable impact on traffic, engagement, and revenue. There's not a lot in this world, in this economy, that we can get that is both free and powerful today. So you lose nothing by being on Google Maps. How do we do that? So for folks that have not claimed and verified their Google business profile, I don't want this to feel like a daunting process for you. It is very simple. I actually did it for a local business here, so I could show you how easy it is. So these seem like a lot of steps. I'm going to rip through it. What you're going to do to claim your business on Google Maps is to pop open Maps and locate your business on Maps. I redacted some information, so we'll pretend that this is your business, right? And if it has not been claimed, you can see here, there's a little button that says claim this business. So you're going to select that, and then you're going to get a pop-up here and then select manage now. Once you've done that, it's going to advance you to a verification option, and then you just follow the on-screen prompts. Google will guide you through the verification process and what needs to be done. 99% of the time you will need to take a video for your verification. I have had the question asked before, can I do this on desktop? I would recommend you would not do that on desktop because in order to take a video verification, there are a couple key things that you want to capture within that video. Signage, opening drawers with keys that only an owner would have, right? You're trying to validate who you are to Google so that they can verify your business. One key thing that I like to bring up when people are verifying, because sometimes I have folks reach out and say, Kat, I keep failing the verification. What am I doing wrong? One, it doesn't need to be super long. You don't have to do a full MTV Cribs tour of your office, right? You don't have to do that. It should be 35 to 45 seconds. Just a quick overview, look at signage, street signs, again, something special that an owner would have access to, whether that's a drawer or opening an office, keys that are specific to a manager. And then the most important part is to speak. A lot of folks will go through their verification process and not talk during the video. And you're trying to tell Google that you're a real person managing a real business. So while you're going through the video verification piece, just remember to talk to tell Google what it is you're showing them and why you're showing them that. So just a little key. Once your video is completed, you'll have the option to upload. Get that uploaded, and then you can check your verification status by signing into your Google account and then navigating to your business profile manager. It's in the waffle menu if you can't find it. And then your status column, once you get there, will show you verified, pending, or not verified. Google is supposed to send you an email when you have successfully been verified, but we have seen instances where sometimes this doesn't happen, so it doesn't hurt to check. Google's been pretty quick lately. Their turnaround times for verifications are at least 5 days. We've seen some that are a little bit longer, but I've also seen some that are like within a day. So sometimes it's a little bit quicker. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. If you are in a pending status after 5 days, just wait a little bit longer. No worries. I'm sure they're reviewing it. And if you get verified quickly, great. We're on to local, which is what we're all here about. One thing that I do want to note, because it does come up when I host these sessions, While the example that I gave you here was for a physical location, your business does not have to have a physical address to have a Google business profile. So you can be on Google Maps and not have to have a physical address. I like to compare this to a plumber or housekeeping service. You go on maps to look for them, but they come to you and service versus you going to a physical storefront. It's the same process that you would follow. However, when you're going through the claiming piece on Google, and there will be a question that says, do customers come to your physical location to purchase products from you or services from you? You can say yes if you have a physical location that you serve customers out of, or no if you are a service area business, which is what your business is called in Google terms if you do not have a physical address and you offer services and you go visit customers and service them. So just a heads up there, do not be intimidated by this process. It is super easy. Google makes it really, really intuitive as well. And you do have to be claimed and verified before getting onto Locl. So why should I use Locl? I have a claimed and verified Google business profile. I can just manage it natively within Google, right, Kat? Absolutely, you could, but we've made it easier for you, and that's why we partnered with Travel Portland, right? So I'm going to cover a lot of these features in the demo in more depth, but I want to highlight some of our key differentiators over manually handling your Google business profile in Google natively. So Locl offers a comprehensive suite of tools designed to enhance and streamline your Google business profile management, which provides significant advantages over manual handling. Our overarching support leads to increased visibility, customer engagement, and ultimately business growth. How we do that? We have enhanced security. Google allows users to suggest edits to your business profile, which can lead to unauthorized or incorrect changes. Our profile lock feature monitors your listing and prevents unwanted changes or modifications from happening, which maintains the integrity of your business information and keeps Locl your source of truth. We've seen hours changes, address changes, phone number changes that come through. You can go on Google right now and look up a business and you'll see the little pencil icon where you can suggest an edit. If Google deems it trustworthy, it can be passed through. I don't believe it's malicious by any means at all, but this is just an added layer of security. Think of it as an insurance policy over your business listing to keep things secure and your information accurate. We also offer extended analytics and insights. Google provides limited analytics where Locl offers up to 18 months worth of historical data, which gives you deeper insights into your profile's performance over time. Google's look back is about 6 months. So you're able to see a comparison year over year and the previous period as well when you go into our data tab. We also have a social media integration. You can schedule and publish posts directly to Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, all through Locl, which helps maintain consistent branding and engagement across platforms. Again, we're here to simplify. Having everything in one platform makes life easier and can help streamline having to manage multiple platforms, especially across social media. I know how time-consuming that can be. We also have autopilot, which is what we're here to talk about today. This is what I'm going to demo on. This is our AI solution. Businesses can enroll in autopilot, which will automate all of the required tasks needed to keep your Google business profile visible with very minimal effort on your part. I'm going to show you how it works. You guys are going to love it. It's very, very cool, and it is going to save you a ton of time, especially if you are strapped for resources. You haven't been paying attention to your Google business profile until right now. We're here to help with that. Autopilot is our solution. It is created just for that. We also offer comprehensive support and a user-friendly interface. Locl is easy to use. That was how it was designed, even if you don't have marketing experience. If you do, that's great. If you don't, you're in the right place. My favorite folks are those that are like, I'm not technical, Kat. You will figure this out, I promise you, and it will feel so rewarding. We also provide clear task recommendations to boost your online visibility, and our support team is here to help you optimize every step of the way. We are an evergreen solution, so Even while our time is limited here today, you can always reach out to us. We're here to make sure that you are getting the best value out of our solutions. And then lastly, again, it's my favorite word. This is free for partners through our program with Travel Portland. Again, you have nothing to lose by using Locl. You have everything to gain. So how do I get started with Locl? You can use the QR code if you haven't already signed up. So feel free to pull your cameras out and get the sign up page pulled up. Or you can go directly to the sign up page that we have that will be shared with you as well. So go to make sure you're using the Travel Portland sign up link. We want to make sure you get logged into the right place. So use this link, use this QR code, and then you're going to be prompted to connect your Google business profile. You just need to allow Locl access to make changes. That connects your Google business profile account to Locl, and then you can make updates using Locl. The welcome video is going to drop down, and this will guide you through platform features, but great news, you're here today. So if you want to save and exit that, I'll show you how in our demo, how to get back to that tour if you need a refresher after this webinar, but I'm going to run you through a very big deep dive so you can close out of that welcome video for right now. And then you're in. Enroll in premium or autopilot, start optimizing your Google business profile, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay. Now, I'm going to pause here so that I can get my demo account pulled up. If you have a local account, I do encourage people if you can, navigate between two screens to get logged in so you can follow along with me. And then this is where questions come up. So I'm going to stop sharing so that I can get that pulled up in the background. All right. All right, here is our overview page. And I talked about the welcome tour. So if you closed out of the welcome tour, you can easily access it by clicking here. You can save and exit and then come back to it at any time. Just wanted to call that out. But this is our overview page. So this is the page you're going to be brought to every time you sign into Locl. I talked to you a little about Locl scoring. Here she is again. So let's talk about what makes up your business score. This is your visibility score online. The higher the score, the better your visibility. It is built like a credit business bureau score. If that gives you heart palpitations, just say it's a health score, right? The higher the score, the more visible you are, and it is comprised of 3 different categories. We have our foundational GBP score. This is your core business information: name, address, phone number, description. That all goes into your foundational score. Recent activity is recency. How recently have you been reviewed? How recently have you responded to those reviews? How recently have you uploaded photos? I'm going to talk about photos probably 6 more times on this webinar. It's a big one, so I'm going to keep highlighting it. And how recently have you posted updates? That all goes into your recency score. And then our last score here is our directory score. Our directory score is tied to our directory sync. You do not have to enroll in directory sync to participate in the program that we have with Travel Portland. However, if you would like to supercharge your business listing, directory sync is available at a discounted price through our partnership with Travel Portland. What directory sync does is it takes your business listing information and automatically synchronizes it across 50 top directories. So not only are you present on Google, right? You're also your business information is also synchronized across Apple, Bing, Waze, Uber. There are some obscure directories within there that you've probably never heard of, but there's two things with that. While some of the directories are obscure, that means that wherever customers are looking for you, they're finding consistent and accurate information. On the Google side, Google loves prominence. So when they're searching for your products or services, Google's indexing all these other directories and they're saying, oh, wow, this business is really involved with their customers and making sure that their business is present in all these other directories. I'm going to pull them to the top of search. So these three scores, very simple, they make up your overall business score. You can see your score over time and how things fluctuate because they do. One thing about local engagement is key for us. While autopilot, off to the side here, will take care of a lot of stuff for you. We do send weekly updates to you guys to let you know about score changes. It's just, again, a reminder, a heads up, log in, take a look, do any actions need to be taken. So you will get communications from us as reminders to log in and take a look at your score changes over time. Like I mentioned here, if you ever want a dashboard of any activities Autopilot has scheduled for you, they're right here. And then anything Autopilot has completed, that's all right here. So at this point, everyone's like, okay, that's great. My score is low. What do I do to change that? So I'm going to show you how to get to changes to your scores and actions that you can take. You're going to head to your visibility score tab. You're going to select view score. Here's our scoring that we chatted about. And then right here, we have what is impacting your local visibility score. So you can easily see what actions need to be taken and how those actions are impacting your overall business score, right? We make this really, really easy for folks to use. We take the guesswork out of it. We know Google's algorithm, so you don't have to. There's always a question that I get. So you can come in, again, visibility score tab, view score, you can come in and take a peek at anything that needs to be taken care of. That being said, Autopilot does a lot for you. So let's move on to some Autopilot specific features. I talked about photos. Photos are very important, guys. And I'm going to talk about it again. Photos are very important. I will bet that you need fresh photos uploaded. So we're going to talk about photos because they are important. What Autopilot does, because photos are so important, you can think of it like social media, like there's not enough content you could possibly give. There's not enough photos you could possibly give your Google business profile, right? It's a hungry algorithm. So what Autopilot does is rather than you as a business owner having to remember each month to come in and upload fresh photos, you can upload a big batch of photos. And what Autopilot will do is create small collections. You can set how many photos per month, whatever works best for you, but it will create small collections to be scheduled to upload each month in the background so you don't have to worry about it. If you ever need to access whatever photos have been published, you can just toggle over to the Google Business Profile Published collections. They're all here. So you can see some of the uploads that have already been taken care of. If you're not sure what's scheduled, just toggle back to the scheduled collections. Really, really important to have fresh content monthly. So that is how Autopilot is designed. These are monthly uploads. Please give us photos. We need photos. If you need to do something like set a cover or a logo photo, that's right within your manual upload. So I'm toggling back and forth between those so that you can see how those are set up. It's just a single photo. You'll select cover or logo. Again, I'm going to go back, hit add collection. If it's just a photo upload, leave it on photo. Go to cover, go to logo, and then you'll hit publish after that is uploaded. Now, why photos are really, really important, not only for the health of your Google business profile, but for Autopilot as well. Autopilot indexes your photos from your photos and videos tab to create weekly posts to publish to your Google business profile. Some of you may be really familiar with posts. Some of you may not even know that they exist. These are updates to your customers. It functions like the social media component of Google. Just like an Instagram or a Facebook, you're telling customers about your business. What Autopilot will do is each week you will have a post that Autopilot has created, and you will get an email of the post that's been created and then when it's going to be published. With all Autopilot tasks, as the name suggests, it's on Autopilot. You have full oversight of any of the activities Autopilot has scheduled. So if you want to edit this, you want to change a photo, you want to cancel it, or you just want to let it run, you have full range to do that. And you do receive email notifications of everything it's doing. You're not going to enroll in autopilot and some computer is going to take over your business listing. That is not how this is designed. And at any point in time, if you want to turn off any of Autopilot's features, there is a publishing button here. This is not my listing, so I'm not going to turn it on for you, but I promise it works. You can turn on or off publishing. I'll show you what that looks like on the review side as well. But this is also where our social connector comes into place, right? We talked about that at the beginning of this webinar. This is totally user preference. You can choose to connect to your Facebook, your Instagram, and your LinkedIn, and Autopilot will create weekly posts to go out across all of the platforms you have selected. Some people really love Instagram, some people really love Facebook, really love LinkedIn. You run your business how you want to, and with the social channels that you feel are suitable, we give them all to you here. So you can decide. This is a perfect example that Catherine has set up. She's not a LinkedIn user, so she doesn't have it connected. Not a problem. She has Facebook and Instagram connected, so all of these posts will publish to all of those platforms weekly. Another feature of Autopilot that's really, really cool when speaking about posts as well is we do create standalone posts for 5-star reviews. When you receive a 5-star review, we create a standalone post, highlights the text that reviewer said about your business, and we publish that as well. Similarly, we create a standalone post for any hour updates, right? We just came out of a holiday weekend. If you had updated your business hours and had an abbreviated schedule or had a closure, hours changes also get created as a standalone post. So if folks are Googling and need to check hours because it's around a holiday, this is just a quick reminder to double check those operating hours. Okay, I'm going to pause here. Posts usually get a lot of questions, and I'm seeing the chat is going. Angela, Ellen, do we have any questions that I can help answer?
Yes. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Okay, so we do have a question from Sam. He's fairly pleased with Locl and how it's posting for him. He does have some issues with connecting his Instagram account. It refuses to kind of shake hands. It says that the profile doesn't exist. So he's just wondering if there's any suggestions for making that connectivity, or, is there something that he's missing in that part of, connecting the Instagram account?
Sure. Great question, Sam. And I actually saw your email right before we kicked this off. We were doing a little multitasking, so I wasn't able to email you back. If you ever have a question about what accounts are connected, right, for any of your social channels, you can toggle down to your connected accounts tab here. So I'm going to click on that. And here we can see what is connected. Sometimes Google tokens refresh too, so good reminder here just to double check. Sometimes you need to, right, you have to sign back in. So sometimes you need to reconnect to your Google account. Here is a perfect example. I didn't even know it would be here for me. Great question, Sam. So you can see here we have an action needed for Catherine's Instagram account. So this is exactly what I was talking about. You'll want to pop into your connected accounts and then hit reconnect your account if those tokens have expired. So that might be what's happening. If not, you and I can connect separately. If you have multiple Instagrams too, like a personal one and a business one, when you are coming in to connect your account, make sure that you're signed into your business account. I have a lot of folks that are kind of toggling back and forth between a personal one and a business one. So you just want to make sure that that business one is logged into when you're attempting to connect. So I hope that helps you out. Great question.
My apologies, Sam, for the mispronounced. The next question comes from Adam. Can we sync Google Photos drive to the Locl?
I'm having a little bit of difficulty hearing you. It sounded like can you send a Google Drive to the Photos tab?
The question is, can we sync Google Photos
There we
to
go.
the Photos Drive to the local account for
Awesome.
photos.
Great question. This has come up before. This is an upcoming enhancement. You cannot at the moment, but we are working on making that enhancement available to you. Travel Portland will be first to know once that is available, and we'll be sure to share that. These questions and feedback are super helpful so that you guys get the best use out of it. So I'm so glad that you brought this up. You are not the first one to ask for it.
All right. The next question is from Jenna. They've heard that it's not great to post the same things across social media platforms since the algorithm looks for that now. Do you have any thoughts on that and how that impacts the visibility?
The biggest thing here is consistency, and also like consistency in terms of how you're engaging your social platforms, but also the messaging that you're relaying. If you feel like you need to change the posts that you have going out, because you want to have some variety across your social channels, you are welcome to do so. For us, the whole goal of autopilot and the posting mechanism is to help save you time. A lot of small businesses that we work with that are on our platform say, yeah, I know I need to post to Instagram. Yeah, I know I should be more present on Facebook. Yeah, I should be using Google's post function. I don't have time, Kat. Don't have the resources, don't have the energy. Autopilot is geared to do that. If you want to create some variety in that posting because that's something that is already part of your routine, part of your workflow, you have that dialed in, you are welcome to do so. So Autopilot's here to help. If you want to do something a little bit different, you can. This also leads into a great feature that I do want to call out, which is new for most of our folks here. You do have the ability to teach our AI what to focus on for your posts and reviews, which we'll get to. So if you like need a different tone or want to focus on something different within these posts, I do know that Catherine installed EV chargers, so I was going to focus on that one, but I see that she has a post ready to go with EV charging included. But let's say that all of her posts didn't talk about the new EV charging stations that Catherine had installed. You could come in and have keywords focused on EV charging stations, and Autopilot will create posts focused on that. You want to change the tone to something a little bit different because you want it to be in your voice. You can add that location specific post prompt criteria up here in this box, hit save, and then it refreshes automatically.
All right. I just answered the question for Jenna regarding the two businesses that they have. I'm wondering if Locl would allow both through the partner program. And the answer is yes. So we would set up your primary business as the parent account and the others as a child account. And so you can have 3 listings per business. And that is what our partnership allows for you within the scope of free listings. And then anything above and beyond that, you can have a conversation with Kat to discuss a discount for the additional listings. Susan is asking, can you set it so that only posts for 5-star reviews, so that it only posts for 5-star reviews and holiday hours? They already have steady schedule with posting directly to the various platforms.
That's a great question. Right now, Susan, it's all or nothing. But if you only want to focus on 5-star reviews and any hours changes, you get a full email of the schedule that Autopilot has created for you. So you can either toggle off publishing if it's not relevant. You know, we're outside of a holiday window, so if you know you're going to update hours, you can toggle publishing back on. Or what you can do is leave it on. You can delete out anything that isn't specific to those 5-star reviews and those hours changes. I know reviews, either you get a ton of them all at once or, you know, they're kind of sprinkled in there. But right now it is an all or nothing. So it's going to take all of those posts. There isn't just a specific toggle for 5-star review and hours changes. However, I got that question earlier this week. So definitely something something that we can review internally so that you have more control over the post function. So thank you for that question.
Excellent. Lindsay says that they get really overwhelmed when trying to keep up with auto-generated content and posts when they first tried it. The content required a lot of editing to align with their voice and key messages, and the post kept getting posted without their review. But love the possibilities. If they were to focus on the automation, what do you recommend they focus on?
Awesome. I would, one, make sure that, you're taking a peek at that publishing schedule. If you are getting overwhelmed, like our platform is made to, you can publish toggling on and off. And we have people that like to, walk, crawl, run with autopilot too. So if the posting becomes overwhelming, feel free to toggle publishing off until you feel like your feet are underneath you. It is made that way, right? That's why that dial is there. If you want to focus on something that's more in your tone of voice, whatever that looks like, I would really encourage you to use this box here to teach our autopilot what you would like to focus on and refresh posts based on that. So feel free to use this box. I know this is relatively new. And I would refresh using that so that those posts are more aligned with the goals and what you're trying to promote with your business.
Great. The next question says, Locl would be a great option for their hotels, restaurants specifically. Are they able to register the restaurant even though they've signed up under the name of the hotel? So specifically for the restaurant, it's owned and operated by the hotel, and they have separate Google profiles for the restaurant and the hotel. And does it depend on which business file is connected? So yes, can they connect both businesses?
You can connect both. I'm going to show you the connected accounts tab again. So again, right here at the bottom on your navigator, you can add a new Google account here. So if it's under two different Gmail accounts, you can just add that secondary Google account. As soon as the secondary Google account is connected, it imports that other Google business profile, and it's available under your Manage Locations tab. So it should import automatically.
Bo says that they won't have their brick and mortar open until March. Congrats. At present, they have GBP servicing the area. So like your plumber example, the lack of the address though makes it their visibility score is super low. Should they add the address should they add the address even though the physical space will not be open until the spring? Is there a way to notify or indicate that the actual space won't be opening until a certain date?
Yes. So, one of the things that you can do if you have a presence, I would start marketing right away, right? March is right around the corner. I'm gonna move ahead here. So one of the things that you can do if you already have a Google Business profile connected, you can move to Manage Locations. I'm gonna hit the edit button here. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Business open status. So you can leave that as toggled off. So it will show temporarily closed until your business opens. And what I would do if I were you, we'll get into business descriptions, but I would encourage in your business description having like a couple asterisks saying opening in March, right? So that folks know that you aren't open yet. But that's what I would do to set that up so that you can start building some buzz and some new customers, and congratulations to opening your new business. That's very exciting.
Yes, congratulations. This last question says that they've changed the address info in the GBP. Unfortunately, they followed all the things that you've mentioned at the beginning correctly from the location video recording, but Google keeps putting it as pending. So when it is pending, does the auto scheduled photos continue to update and refresh themselves? when the address related changes are pending, how does local help us to overcome negative side effects of the pending status for small businesses?
I think I know who this is. Hi, Nevra. So you will, because, and I know your account specifically, because you still have that Google business profile ready to go. I'll take a look at your account. If it's still in a pending status, what it will show under manage locations, this status here will probably show not published or inactive if it's still under the pending status because we're re-verifying your location. So after I jump off here, I can take a look at your account and see if it's inactive. We give an alert because it's inactive. We don't have that. Sorry. We as in local do not have a connection to your Google business profile because it's in that pending status. And I think we had talked about you're moving to a shared space. So including that suite, floor, or apartment number when you're resubmitting for that address. If it is still in a pending state and it's been, I would say, over a week, you can submit a ticket to Google support to see what the issue is with that pending status. I think we talked about this maybe like a week ago, so I don't know how long it's been since you resubmitted with those address changes. But just a heads up there, it should show inactive if it's under that pending state because you're going back through that re-verification process. Local will help you once you get verified because then that connection is there with Google and then things pick right back up with autopilot. So we just pick things right back up with your new address and we rock and roll with the information that you have.
All right, we don't have any other questions that are submitted. If there are a few other questions, we'll take another 5 minutes or so to answer some last minute questions. If you want to just raise your hand, we can unmute you for you to ask your question and then Kat will respond. Okay.
Okay, great. I'm going to move ahead then to our reputation tab. This is where your reviews live. I showed you that you can turn publishing on and off. Here's a perfect example of how publishing is disabled. Catherine likes to personally respond to all of her guests. So she has our auto responses to reviews toggled off. If it were toggled on, when a new review comes in, autopilot will respond to that review within 4 days of receiving it, right? We give you a rant period because we want to make sure that you have oversight over what autopilot is doing. Here's where they all live. The way that our review responses work are similar to like star ratings, right? If we get a great 5-star review, it's going to mirror that experience, similar to if you got a 1-star review. And again, here in this box, if you want to add a particular tone and make it sound like it's more in your voice or include specific keywords, a lot of folks like to respond to their own reviews and just say thank you. And that's great. We should have review responses. However, you're missing a key opportunity to add in some really good search engine optimizations by introducing keywords. So I can't encourage enough. Autopilot does that automatically. So if you toggle it off, I have to say, make sure you're introducing those keywords so that when people are searching for hotels near me or hotels with EV stations, right? We already talked about how this is important to Catherine's business. Make sure that you're including that within your review responses. And if you would like autopilot to do that for you, just include that prompt criteria in this box here, specific tone or voice, keywords, or other strategic direction as well. And then what's also really cool, we've done this a few times and I get feedback from the audience. Oh, this is the most I've focused on my Google Maps listing in a long time, Kat. I don't have any reviews, and your scoring will reflect that. So what you can do when you pop in here, there's a couple places you can click get more reviews here or copy review request link here, right? It says link copied off to the side once I hit that. When customers are with you in real time point of sale, you can pop in, grab that review link, and I'm going to show you in real time what that does. Catherine, I've stayed at her hotel. She sent me this link and said, can you please leave me a review, Kat? Boom, it pops right open and I can leave a review for Catherine right then and there. So just a heads up, that is available to you so that you can share that. One other thing that I want to call out because I had this question come up a few times. We do default the date range in your reputation manager to the last 90 days. So if you come in here and you're like, I have 65 reviews, where are the rest of them? You can pop open to your date range picker and go back farther in time to look for those. You can set a custom range, last 1 year, 2 year, whatever works for you. But if you're looking for some reviews and you're not seeing them populate down here, just a reminder that it does default to the last 90 days. Okay, let's get into some foundational Google Business Profile Management and what Autopilot can do. So under Manage Locations, I hit Edit. Here is our core business information. We kind of touched on business descriptions a little bit, but I didn't tell you what Autopilot does. So Autopilot each month, right? Recency of activity is really, really important for Google's algorithm. So each month, Autopilot creates a keyword-rich business description based off your top search key terms from the previous month to introduce each month just to keep things fresh. So that is available to you at any point in time. One heads up here. I know that Catherine is enrolled in Directory Sync, so we do include a business description. If you are a hotelier, lodging, Google does not have descriptions for location. So if you are logged in here right now and you are a hotelier, because we already got a question from one and you are not seeing a business description, it's because Google does not allow editing for descriptions for lodging location. So you're looking at the right thing. If you enroll in Directory Sync, having that business description is a required field. So that's why Catherine has it here. So just a heads up. But speaking of hotels, I'm going to move right over here to our categories. When you're setting up your Google Business Profile, it is required that you have a primary category. So what your business is. In Catherine's case, this is a hotel. But oftentimes, we forget about additional categories. So we have that drop down here. Autopilot generates additional categories just to get your thought bubbles going. In Catherine's case, she is a hotel, but also an inn, a motel, and an extended stay hotel. These categories change pretty frequently and they're kind of vast, right? And we want to make sure that we're casting a wide net. Obviously, want to make sure that it's customers that fit within your demographic. She wouldn't say she's a whale watching tour operator. That's not what her business does. But I will show you an easy example of how many options there are specific just to hotels. I typed in hotel here. There are so many options that you can choose from. This is really, really similar for any business. So pop in here, make sure you have those additional categories because we want to make sure that you're capturing all of the things that your business offers, right? Hotel is great, but that's sort of a big umbrella. Additional categories is where you can be a little bit more specific in terms of services or products that you offer. This is what Google offers us. So I can't add to the list if you're like, oh, but I also do this. This is what Google offers us. So I'll show you how we can be a little bit more flexible with these categories in a moment. But here is, again, core business information. We have our business hours, address. I do like to call out service area business. Your business operates within a service area, right? It's really important to include a service area, whether you have a physical location or you are a service area business. You can add up to 20 locations here, so long as they are in a 2-hour drive of your location. Google will flag it if you extend that. Also, customers probably aren't looking that far, right? But really, really easy, works just the same as categories. Obviously, this is for Portland, so I would type in Portland here, boom, it drops down. This is how you can add. You can do it by zip codes, you can do it by counties, you can do it by cities. Whatever makes sense for you, you can add up to 20 so long as it fits within that service area, 2-hour drive. But make sure that's in there so that if I'm in Beaverton, Oregon, and I search for Catherine's Hotel, it's populating as an option on Google when I go to search for it. Core business information, again, get all those online profile and contact information added. And then here are your special hours. So we talked about posts being created when you update hours. We do our bank holidays. So those are already loaded within there. But if you have an abbreviated schedule, maybe you're getting electric work done, you have a team outing and you're closing the office down for the day, you can come in here and just add a new date and then that will update any hours as well. So you don't have to stick to these just because they're bank holidays. You can add in other dates as well if you have an abbreviated schedule. And then I'm going to navigate over to attributes and services. Here under our services tab is where we can be a little bit more flexible with the categories that Google has us select. So while Catherine has a hotel, she has some services that she offers, right? Free parking. We talked about EV charging station, a full kitchen, it's pet friendly, and she has an in-suite washer and dryer as well. So come into here and it will go into scoring as well. This is where you can add services to the categories that you've selected. Some of this is going to be redundant because it's kind of the same category. So this may not be applicable to some businesses. This is a little bit redundant for Catherine just because these sort of fall into the same categories. But here's where you can be a little bit more flexible with those categories in terms of adding services so that when people are searching for a pet-friendly hotel that they can stay at, Catherine's is coming to the top of search when they're looking for it. In our Manage Locations tab, moving again to Profile Lock. We talked about Profile Lock. This is where you can toggle that on. You have two options. I'll show you where else you can find that in the Manage Locations tab. But here is your Profile Lock tab. This keeps local your source of truth. So great to lock down your profile as an added layer of security. But remember that if you toggle this on, if you make any changes in Google natively, Local will revert those changes. That is the purpose of Profile Lock. So if you have this on, Local is your source of truth. Please use Local to do updates. You can see here some changes were made outside of Local that Profile Lock notified and then reverted back. And then you can see details within here. And it was within Google Maps. So if at any point in time it defaults the last 30 days, again, don't think it's malicious at all. Some people never see any fields impacted. Some see like hours changes, similar to what Catherine has here. But this is where you can toggle on Profile Lock. Or when you get started with us, you go to the Manage Locations tab. Profile Lock also has a toggle here as well. So make it easy for you guys to lock your profile down. Awesome. Okay. One last thing that I wanted to focus on, we talked about extended analytics that we offer. So within your Google Business Profile Performance tab, I am here under the Performance category. We default to the previous month. So when you come in here, it will always default to the previous month. We're looking at December. This is where you can come in and see consumer actions. This will show you the previous period versus the previous year. Change that date range if you want to see something different. And then here at the bottom here, this is how consumers found you. So this is how people are locating your business, whether that be on Google Maps natively through the app or on Google browser searches as well. And you can see those changes over time and those changes in visibility. We also show review counts here, again, previous period versus last year. And then your top search terms are here as well. So how people are finding you, what they're searching for, when they're locating your business, top search terms are here. Again, change that date range if you want to see something a little bit farther back, but this is where all of your analytics live. One last thing, I'm doing great on time, guys. This is excellent, especially with all the questions that you had. If, like for the example that we had, where we have a hotel and a restaurant and they're managed separately, perhaps you have different people that are managing each of those locations. We also make it really easy to add team members. So you come to the top here, right-hand corner, select My Teams. And I know that Catherine already had Brad added, so this is a perfect example. If someone else is helping manage your Google business profile, you can come into the My Teams tab, enter in their email, and then they'll have their own, it will give them their own local login so that they can manage your Google business profile from a team member login as well. So you can share access in case you have multiple people that are helping you with that. Really, really easy to get that added. Again, up at the top here, My Teams, add their email and it will send them their own invite. You don't have to send them your password. They can create their own and they'll have their own login. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Angela, do we have more questions?
Yes, we have an additional question. Is there a disadvantage to having your location set to services as opposed to an actual location listed?
No, not necessarily. I mean, it is your business type, right? So, and hybrid is an option too. If customers come to you, but you also service customers, that's an option. But there's no disadvantage to having a physical location versus having a service area. Again, the only disadvantage is not taking the steps that we outlined here, again, to help with that visibility. But if your business is a service area business, that's what it is. If it's a physical location, that's what it is. The only disadvantage is inactivity, right? So just making sure that you're keeping up with those tasks, letting autopilot do its thing, uploading regular photos, and then making sure that you're overseeing what autopilot is taking care of so that you're pulling up within search. A lack of activity will mean that other businesses offering the same services that people are searching for will pull to the top of search. So just make sure that you're staying consistent and engaged with your Google business profile management, but no disadvantage.
Great. So what if under the manage locations tab, location details, they do not see the tabs of services, profile lock, etc.? Is there something that needs to be toggled on for their view? What do they need to
Mm,
do?
we might have to look at that one separately. If you are not seeing, so manage locations, edit location, if you're not seeing things populate within here, we can take a look. All of this should be, you should have a tab. Everyone should have access to that. So if that's not displaying, that might be a one-off situation, which you and I can connect about. So don't worry about it. We'll get it set up if you're not seeing things correctly.
Right. I signed up for Locl to review a business profile that I no longer work with. How do I unenroll or decouple my email address from that Google business profile?
Great question. So you'll have to do this through Google natively. But you will want to transfer manager access, assuming the business is still open. You'll want to transfer manager access to that Google business profile to the new overseer. I don't know if that's a manager, whatever the job title is. We can connect. I can send you the Google support article on how to transfer manager access. And then if we need to, within the local account, update the primary email to whoever that new manager is, I can take care of that for you. It's as simple as submitting a ticket.
Okay. And looks like our last question is, how many team members are we able to add? And can there only be one managing member?
One managing member, that will be yes. So one for manager access, as many team members as you need to add. Go crazy. I probably not, that would be a lot, but you can if you want to.
All right, that was the last question submitted.
Awesome. I am going to pull our deck back up so that you can close us out then. Angela, I really appreciate your help managing all of those questions. That was great. That would have been a lot of reading for me. And then I will give you control as well.
All right, one more question actually just came to our attention. So they work for a theater cultural center. Can you speak to organizations with often changing events and schedules?
Oh, yes. So if you have changing events and schedules, we talked about posts, and how autopilot is going to schedule like evergreen content to go out each week. If you have changing events and schedules, you can create posts manually from within the post tab because it's a computer, it won't know you're having an event. So, what you can do when you go in to create a post manually, there is an option as your post type that is called events. Within that, you create your post to highlight the event, and it even includes event start and end time so that you can start promoting that. And then I always encourage, like, please have a website included. We work with like rodeos and things like that, where farmers markets where things are changing. So I always encourage to have a website too, so that if folks need to reference a schedule too, your website's right there for them to click on. If you have more questions about how to get that set up or how to utilize posts a little bit better, feel free to submit a ticket, and you and I can connect separately about that so we can make sure that you're all set up. But it won't be a problem at all. It just takes a little bit more finessing, just to make sure that everything aligns with the events that you're promoting.
And can you change the scheduled dates for posts?
For autopilot posts, no, those are preset. If you create posts manually, yes, you have full range to pick whatever date you would like. You can do it in the future. You can set it up to be recurring, right? If you, in this example, if you have an event that's coming up and you want to promote it through the whole, I should say February, because we're at the end of the month. If you want to promote that through the whole month of February, you can set up a recurring post to go out weekly, daily, to promote that event. But you have full range of whatever dates for that. Autopilot is preset, so that something gets published each week.
Excellent. Any other questions? If you want to raise your hand, we can take a couple more quickly. All right. Well, all the questions that were asked were great questions. Thank you, Kat, for such an informative presentation and demonstration of Local. We really appreciate you and your partnership, and how you have just shared the benefits of both Autopilot and Directory Sync. So thank you so much. If you want to get in touch with Kat, you can follow Local on LinkedIn, submit your ticket, email them at support@locl.io. And then if you have questions for our team, Ellen is our resident guru. And we'll make sure that your partnership account is all set up and situated and organized in the parent-child structure that we talked about earlier. So you can email us at partnerships@travelportland.com. We also have a QR code that you can scan, and Ellen's going to drop the link to our partner events page where you can sign up and view all the other upcoming training opportunities and events that we have coming up the rest of this year. We certainly encourage you to explore those events and attend if you're available, and invite your teams to join. Our next deep dive event or webinar is on February 4th. That one's going to be focused on our new partnership orientation. So if you have joined Travel Portland as a partner, let's say in the last technically year, because we didn't do one in the fall, we typically try to do two, but we we didn't get to one. So that new partner orientation will be in collaboration with our convention services team, and they will do an overview of their services and how you can connect with them and our meeting planners and take advantage of some of the opportunities available there. As a post-event, in our post-event email in the next day or two, you will receive from us, it will include a link to this video webinar, so a playback of the demonstration that Kat did for us today. We will have a copy of the presentation deck, and then we will also have a link to a short survey that we would love for you to respond to. It definitely helps our team to continue to improve on the quality and relevance of our partnership programming. And so we just want to make sure that we continue to, again, deliver high quality, value added content and programming to you and your team. So I think that wraps us up. Thank you so much again for spending part of your morning with us. We are actually wrapping up a little early, so giving you that gift of time back today. Being a part of our visitor economy and our hospitality industry. We really appreciate your partnership and look forward to continuing to support your success. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.